You're watching WPSD Local 6.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death in children and teenagers in Kentucky.
And that statistic from University of Kentucky report might shock you, but it is reality. No one knows that better than Chaney Corley's parents. The middle schooler was accepted into the Marshall County High School band. She loved horsing around with her brothers. She wanted to be a forensic scientist when she grew up. The 13-year-old had so much more to do with her life, but she cut it short. Now her parents are sharing her story, so what happened to Chaney doesn't happen to your child. Chaney's life was like a song with its high notes.
If she knew the impact she had,
she had no idea.
And its low ones.
There's a beginning and then there's an end.
She's such a good kid.
Tony and Angel remember their daughter vividly. Her tiny hands when she was born, antics with her brothers, dressed up in her band uniform, practicing her baritone. Happy memories, and a smile her parents now know hid something much darker inside their daughter.
She would tell us she was stupid. She would tell us she was ugly. She would tell us she had no friends.
Chaney was never diagnosed with depression, but she did see a therapist. Tony and Angel say things did improve, but 5 months ago, they saw Chaney for the last time.
That morning, I woke up late. I sent him in to wake her up.
Chaney's little brother found her unresponsive. She had overdosed on prescription medication. The next day, Chaney was declared brain dead.
You just don't want to breathe. You know, if you don't, there's no comprehension. There's nothing there. I mean, it's
impossible to explain, enormously painful. Parents aren't supposed to outlive their children. But they do, and suicide is a more common reason why than you might think. The Centers for Disease Control report suicide as the third leading cause of death in children and teens 10 to 14, the second in 15 to 34-year-olds.
The first thing I always tell families to look for is a change in behavior.
Psychiatrist Dr. Lori Ballou says changes in sleep patterns, appetite, how often they want to hang out with friends, it can all point to warning signs that parents, family members, and friends should ask about.
Not pressure them, but just open that window for them so that they know that they can approach the person.
Part of the approach is education, understanding, and compassion. That's the purpose of the nonprofit they've named for their daughter, By Chaney's Hands.
And you know, with most people, you can have your problems out here and you see everything. You still see the world, but when you're a kid, or when you suffer from some type of mental illness, everything's right there.
But Tony and Angel say, don't give up looking for that light in the dark. Just keep singing.
Don't be afraid to say something. Say anything. To anybody.
Such a hard story to watch, and a very hard story for those parents to talk about. Difficult pictures to share. You may have noticed there was a picture of Chaney in her casket, and why would they share that? Well, I spoke with her parents, and they said that they felt like that was an important image, not just for parents to see, but for teenagers to see. That is a final moment. There is no changing that split-second decision, and teens need to see it.
Well, need to see that and have that conversation. Suicide, one of those things that doesn't matter your race, your education, your wealth. I mean, it affects a lot of different communities in a lot of different ways. So, By Chaney's Hands, this organization that they've set up, how do they hope to accomplish preventing suicide?
Well, they still have a really new group. They just recently became a legal nonprofit, a 501c3. That's a public charity. So that was a big goal for them. But they've got some other big goals. They want to build a curriculum for schools, churches, and other community groups to use. They're really into community outreach. They want to get people talking about suicide and depression. They don't want it to be a stigma anymore. It should be talked about. They also want to establish a network around the country with other groups that are offering similar services. They want to be working together and making resources available to people who either are considering suicide or people who know someone that they're concerned may be considering suicide, a place for them to go so they know how to talk about it. So a lot of things they're hoping to do with this organization. If you'd like to learn more about By Chaney's Hands, including how you can donate to their cause, just head to WPSDlocal6.com and look for this story